Attack with everything. Boom, boom, boom. Trigger Myrel. Alright, we'll make 23 tokens. Hi, it's Vex, and today we're back at it again with another commander from Brothers War. That's right, and a mono white commander. Love these monocolor commanders. Myrel, Shield of Argive. 3 white, right there. Legendary creature, human soldier. Soldier theme, of course. During your turn, your opponents can't cast spells or activate abilities of artifact creatures or enchantments. They can crack a fetch land if they really want to. Then, this important part right here, second part. When Myrel attacks, create X 1/1 colorless soldier artifact creature tokens, where X is the number of soldiers you control. So, even Myrel alone, and it's 3/4, of course, for 4 mana, you can attack. They can't really Swords to Plowshares because of that first ability. Then you can, make 1 soldier. Then next turn, you can attack with 2 soldiers. Myrel and the soldier you created, create 2 more soldiers. So the theme of the deck, of course, says itself. Soldier theme. This is a soldier creature deck. Now I love creature decks, soldier creatures or creature type decks, and I love monocolor decks because I love the mana base, which is play land, land, land. You don't think about the colors, everything works out. So this is right up my alley. The theme is simple. You make lots of soldiers, attack with them, multiply those soldiers, and attack with them some more, and then win the game. So let's get right to the deck tech. But before we get to the deck tech, don't forget to have all your tokens, along with all these cool soldier tokens. I even have 1 foil here. These are the artifact creature soldier tokens. Myrel makes those colorless tokens. Usually soldier tokens are the white kind, but not this. In this case, there's some white soldier tokens in the deck. Anyways, don't forget to have all your tokens right here as I fan through these. I have the deck list in the description below, along with all the cool support links, affiliate links that you want to help support the channel with. Let's get right to the deck tech. Of course, what kind of creature deck are we if we do not have lords? That's right, creature lords. These are our lords, and actually, let's go to the most important lord right here. This one. This is an old school one. Daru War Chief. Hope I'm pronouncing it right. 2 white. Expensive for a lord, but gives all soldiers 1 generic discount, and then gives your soldiers +1/+2, which is really cool. And it's a 1/1, but it also gives itself +1/+2, so it's a 2/3, which is really neat. It gives extra toughness because these soldiers are going to the red zone and they're pretty puny. Yeah, I might not have mentioned this, but these soldiers come into play not tapped and attacking. Usually they come into play tapped and attacking, but in this case it's not. So this gives a buff to your soldiers and make them cost less. So this is one of the most important lords. It does cost 4. Then we have, let's go in order here. We have the new Dominaria United Valiant Veteran. They see this for this commander right here. 1 white. Other soldiers you control get +1/+1. So this is really on rate. 2 mana value, 2/2. Gives everything +1/+1. Then you can exile this card from your graveyard. Put +1/+1 counter on each soldier you control. And we're definitely going wide. And these are soldiers, of course, so they trigger Myrel as well. Then you have Field Marshal, an old goodie classic. Other soldiers get +1/+1 and have first strike, so it costs 3 mana value. That's pretty neat. Then from Commander Legends, Prava of the Steel Legion, 2 white. As long as it's your turn, creature tokens you control get +1/+4. So that helps with Myrel, with the tokens to get them into the red zone. More toughness is always good because it keeps them alive longer. This is a soldier. This is technically a your turn lord. However, look at this. 3 white. Create a dude. That's create soldiers. So we love going really wide because the wider we go, this Myrel makes it even wider, your soldier army. Then we have Captain of the Watch, which costs a beefy 6 mana value. Vigilance. Other soldiers you control get +1/+1 have Vigilance, which is not that great for this 6 mana value rate for a 3/3. However, when this ETBs, put 3 white soldier creature tokens onto the battlefield. So for 6 mana, you get 3 2/2s and a 3/3. So that's a lot of beef. That's 4 soldiers for Myrel. Balayage Banneret. Kitten spells and soldier spells you play cost 1 less to play. So it's essentially half of a Daru War Chief. Then we have a cool soldier here from Warhammer 40k. Or I think this is another set, but I forgot which one it's from. But 2 white, 3/3. Commander creatures you control get +1/+2/+2 and have indestructible. Now this is Very important because you can give your commander indestructible and get it into the red zone. I think it's pretty neat. It makes your commander bigger, and then with all these buff, commander damage is on the table, so don't forget about that. The next section here, we have a hodgepodge of different types of soldiers. What I really like about soldiers is there's lots of varieties of soldiers that do a lot of different things, which are really cool. You can do a lot of mix and matching, which I really like. We have protection here, essentially helping you protect your soldiers or protect yourself from losing. We have Selfless Squire here, Flash, ETB, prevent all damage that we dealt to you this turn. And the cool part is, whenever damage we dealt to you is prevented, put that many +1/+1 counters on Selfless Squire so it gets bigger. Remember, you can just ambush somebody in combat with this. You say, no blocks, boom, prevent all damage, make this dude big. Just really cool. Rescue Retriever, a little dog from the Brothers of War, of course. It's like a bonus card. Not in the regular set, I guess. 3 white, so beefy dog, dog soldier, 3/3. Flash, when it ETBs, put +1/+1 counter each other soldier you control. It gets them beefy. And then prevent all damage that we dealt to other attacking soldiers you control. This is fits perfectly into Myrel's plan. You tap everything sideways, then bam, flash in after the soldiers are created, of course. Give everything +1/+1 counters, prevent all damage. Captain, Ranger Captain EOS. So basically, ETBs, you search for 1 drop. The only 1 drop is Esper Sentinel. The important part is that you can sack it, and your opponents can't cast non-creature spells. So if they're about to do some crazy thing, sack it, essentially silence them during their turn. Of course, you have Myrel. Myrel is like a silence during your turn array, so this just doubles as an additional silence effect there. And it's a soldier, so I wanted to include it. I didn't have a lot of targets for it, but the second ability is so strong that it's there. Esper Sentinel, good card draw. Mentor of the Meek, it's a soldier. I do have all the other effects that are like Mentor of the Meek, like Welcoming Vampire to Kashia's Welcome, which will come in the card draw section, but I just want to showcase all the soldiers we have here. Then we have the 2 removal ones. I love this one, Catapult Master. This is an old school card. 3 white. Tap 5 untapped soldiers you control, exile target creature. This is great because these soldiers come into play untapped. Then you can tap Catapult Master itself, +4 other soldiers, and you exile things. So these can, with enough soldiers, you can machine gun your opponent's creatures to death. And this will exile Blightsteel, which is great. Cathar Commando, Flash, 1 sack, destroy artifact or enchantment. It's a soldier. The cool part is you can just flash it in, attack with it, right? Trigger Myrel. If anything can block it and kill it, you just sack it and destroy something. So it sacrifices itself to the worthy cause. Okay, next set of cards, move these over, are the token generators. Next to Myrel, we want to generate more tokens because tokens can generate more tokens, so they multiply in tokens. So token generators are pretty simple. Precinct Captain, white, first strike. When it deals combat damage to a player, put 1/1 white creature token into the battlefield. So this is after it connects and deals damage. Unfortunately, their soldiers are small. We do have little buffs other than the lords to get them bigger. So don't worry, we'll get to that. Now we go on to Brimaz. It's a soldier. I've always thought of it as a cat, but it is a soldier. It makes cat soldiers. When it attacks, make a cat soldier that's vigilant and attacking. So this one does make attacking soldiers. And when it blocks, make a 1/1 white cat soldier token that is blocking and it's vigilant because it's not tapped at attacking. It's just vigilant and attacking, I guess. Siege Veteran, a new card from Brothers of War. I love seeing new cards in my deck. Right there, 2 and white, human soldier. At the beginning of combat in your turn, put +1/+1 counter target creature you control. So you play it pre-combat. You usually play things post-combat, but pre-combat's good. And then when another non-token soldier you control dies, create a dude. So, just in case Precinct Captain dies, if you have Siege Veteran, you make another dude. Just really good. Keeper of the Cord helps you do catch-up creatures. So if you have less creatures, you make a 1/1 white soldier token. We're usually having more creatures. However, the important part here is that it is a soldier. And at the beginning of each opponent's end step, if a player controls more lands than you, you search your land for basic lands, put it onto the battlefield. So it helps you ramp. So you could there's some mana sinks in this deck, so it does help you ramp. And in the unfortunate case where after a board wipe somebody has more creatures, this will produce soldiers. Revenant Hoplite. Now this is the amazing soldier producer here. 4 and a white human soldier. When this ETBs, create a number of white soldiers equal to your devotion to white. Now the more white soldiers you have, or the more white pips you have, the more soldiers you make. And it's a 1/2 for 5, which is kind of ridiculous for the mana cost, but it makes tons of soldiers. All right, the other sections, these are stuff that doesn't fit in any other molds. Odric, Master Tactician, 2 white, first strike, human soldier, of course. Whenever Odric and at least 3 other creatures attack, you choose which creatures block this combat and how those creatures block. Essentially, you can kill somebody's board or make everything unblockable because you choose how things block. And this, if you attack with 4 creatures, this and 3 others. So it's extremely powerful soldier. Here, Thaya, Heretic Cathar. This is a little more of a light stacks piece. You know, creatures in non-basic lands your opponents control, ETB tapped. Preeminent Captain, ways to cheat out soldiers. 2 white, first strike. When this attacks, so it's an attack trigger, you may put a soldier creature card from your hand into play tapped and attacking. Now, don't suicide your dudes. You play this and you have Odric tapped and attacking. Odric's trigger will not trigger because the trigger phase would have been passed. So just remember that here. So you don't have to execute, put something in if they're going to die. So don't be silly, right? Okay, anyways. Knight, Captain of Eos, 4 white. There, when ETBs, put 2 white soldier creature tokens into play. So it's 3 creatures, 4 power and toughness for 5, not bad. White, sacrifice a soldier, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn. So this really helps you to work Myrel to generate tons of tokens. You can attack with everything, even if they're going to be killed. Then you can, when Myrel spits out a token, you can sack that token and prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn. So, extremely good for this deck. Allows you to keep attacking without worry. You can attack, essentially, if you attack with 5 soldiers, you get 5 untapped soldiers to do the chump blocking for you. That's why this card is, another very, very important card of the deck and makes the deck function really well. Now that we've went through all of the soldiers that make soldiers, here are the non-soldier spells or creatures or planeswalkers that make soldiers. Again, we're going wide. Going wide is the name of the game. So we have new card from Dominaria United, Defiler of Faith. This is a very good card in this deck. 3 white, Phyrexian Human, so not a soldier, of course, like everything else here. This makes all your single white pips into Phyrexian mana, your first white pip into a Phyrexian white. Then when you cast a white permanent spell, create a soldier. Now, a white permanent spell does not include sorceries, so unfortunately, but when you cast, Elspeth, it makes an additional soldier with Defiler. When you cast Platoon Dispenser, it doesn't count because it's not white. That's a trick question. All right, anyways. Platoon Dispenser, 5, artifact creature construct. At the beginning of your end step, if you control 2 or more other creatures, draw a card. So this is our start of our card draw. And it's easy to control 2 or more creatures because Platoon Dispenser dispenses 1/1 soldiers. This is artifact soldiers, so don't forget that because you can get Vandal Blasted with your artifact soldiers right there. 3 white. And it also has a additional text of Unearth, 2 white, additional ability. It's a 4/6, so very good stats. Mana Sink, as I described earlier. Then we have Elspeth, Sun's Champion, a Planeswalker. +1, create 3 soldiers. Or get -3, destroy creatures with power 4 or greater. Right there. I didn't even include an emblem in our token pack because I'm never going to want to get it because I always want to make tokens. Tokens. I love making tokens with Elspeth. All right. I did get the emblem. Here it is. -7. Creatures you control get +2/+2 and have flying, which is insane with Myrel. Myrel does not have flying, even though I keep thinking she's a bird for some reason. I don't know why. But yes, token is here. Emblem is here. All right, anyways, moving on. We have spells that generate tokens. So one of my favorite token generators here, Martial Coup. X white, make X white creature tokens. Effects is 5 or greater, destroy all other creatures, which is great. And also great if they are indestructible via some other card that we have in the future. We have Finale of Glory. X white, create X 2/2 white soldier creatures with vigilance. So makes bigger creatures than this. This board wipes, except for if X is 10, you make angels. Who knows if you want to make angels? You do want to make soldiers. But angels is really winning because that's 12 mana in a white deck, so that's hard to do already. Horn of Valhalla, which has Yarsgard's Call, if I said that right. X white. You see a theme here, right? Create X white soldier creature tokens. Then this goes on adventure. Then Then turns into equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each creature you control. So this is really good to equip to Myrel, make it huge. Again, remember commander damage is a thing, equip 3. So those are our token generators. This is a card draw I was alluding to, so these are non-soldier card draws. Meant to me is at least a soldier, which is great. Now we have a card, which I haven't used in the past, but you need to check out the price on this. This price on this is insane, actually. Beanie Brex, Zoologist, 3 and white, has Convoke. At the beginning of your end step, if you create a token this turn, draw a card. Each end step, not your end step. So you draw up to 4 cards per rotation, which is amazing. Then we'll go to Welcoming Vampire. You know, where one or more other creatures with power 2 or less ETB, which soldiers are very small, draw a card. The ability only triggers once each turn. Again, kind of like Beanie Brex, draw a card each on each person's turn through the rotation. So it's really good here. Rumor Gatherer, you see the theme here, right? 1 white. Whenever another creature ETBs under your control, scry 1. If this is the second time this ability is triggered, resolve this turn, draw a card instead. So you play 2 creatures, you draw a card, and you get to scry 1. Third creature, scry 1. Fourth creature, scry 1. And then you could, each player's turn, you can do the same thing. Takashia's Welcome. The theme is very prevalent here. 2 and white. And they all cost 3 here. This is Convoke, but they mostly cost 3. One or more creatures made by 3 or less ETB under your control, draw a card. Triggers only once. Same thing as Welcoming Vampire, except for the tiny bit bigger creatures. Then you have Skull Clamp to clamp your little soldiers. Excellent. Idol of Oblivion. I love this card. This card's one of my favorite cards. You get to just tap, draw a card if you make a token, which you're always making tokens with this deck. Then you have more card draw in the next card here. Let's get it. Vanquisher's Banner. That's also card draw, but it's also a buff along with all these cards here. Right there. Vanquisher's Banner. When a creature, you choose a creature type, soldier, of course. I hate reading that line because basically it only says soldier. You might as well stamp the word soldier on here when you play this soldier deck. And then it gives them +1/+1, so it's like a lord itself. And when you cast a soldier spell, draw a card. Door of Destinies. Oh my god, I love this card here. 4, generic. Choose a creature type, soldier. When you cast a soldier, put a charge counter. Creatures get +1/+1 for each charge counter on Door of Destinies. So, 4 mana does nothing. Instantly cast a soldier. Well, +1/+1 lord. Second soldier, bigger lord. Third soldier, bigger lord. Which is insanely good with your commander. It makes tons of soldiers. Then you have Inspiring Leader here. And this is a buff for your creatures. Your tokens, creature tokens. It gives Myrel creature tokens you control get +2/+2. So really, really buffs us those tokens. Right, getting towards the end here, we have the protection spells that again keep Myrel allowing to do suicide attacks to generate those tokens. We have Grand Crescendo, which creates tokens and also gives your creatures indestructible. This is one of the most amazing cards of the new competitive commander. Do not sleep on this card. You can play white, give all your creatures indestructible without generating tokens. It's very cheap to play. Or you can choose, end of turn. It is an instant. End of turn, flood the board with tokens. Or during your turn, give your creatures indestructible to attack more freely. You have Flawless Maneuver. Again, defense or offensive Flawless Maneuver is very good. Unbreakable Formation, which I really love. I'm just moving my cards all around here. It's 2 and white. Creatures you control gain indestructible. So the idea is the soldiers are so small that you just got to protect them somehow. So we got to buff them up and give them indestructible so it can multiply the squad. If you cast it during your main phase, everything is +1/+1 and vigilance until end of turn. The +1/+1 counter, that's permanent. Chroma's Will, this is the finisher right there. 3 and white. If you control your commander, you do both. Creatures you control gain flying, vigilance, and double strike until end of turn. Amazing. Creatures you control gain lifelink, indestructible, and protection from all colors until end of turn. Unblockable. Essentially, double strike unblockable is a very good finisher in the deck. We have Amaria's Call, which is a protection spell, believe it or not. Create 2 white 4/4 white angel warrior creature tokens with flying. Non-angel creatures you control gain indestructible until your next turn, which means everything in the deck except for those 2 angels you made gain indestructible. And some old double face cards so you can play as land. Anointed Procession, double your tokens. Soul Guide Lantern, Graveyard Hate. I love Graveyard Hate. There's not a lot of Graveyard Hate in this deck, so we gotta have something to hate on the graveyards. Removal spells. I think white has one of the strongest set of removal spells. We have Swords Plowshares, Path to Exile to remove creatures. However, Path to Exile, you can remove your own creature and ramp yourself. So don't forget to use that. That's a hidden mode. Kabira Takedown. This is a molded face card. It deals damage equal to the number of creatures you control, target creature or planeswalker, and is a land. You are going wide. This Kabira Takedown is really good when you go wide. Generous Gift gets rid of any permanent. Gives them 3/3, but destroys any permanent, including lands. They have Darksteel Mutation. Turn commanders into 0/1 insects. They're indestructible and do nothing, which is amazing. Farewell, Vanquish the Horde. Again, the cool part about it is Vanquish the Horde is you have a lot of things make things indestructible. You can make things indestructible and Vanquish, so it's a one-sided board wipe. Farewell exiles everything, so it's not a one-sided board wipe. However, it does hate on graveyards, so don't forget that little neat tech. And then, and reminder, my Farewell, you do not actually have to use this exile creatures mode. You can exile artifacts, enchantments, and graveyards, or just graveyards. So Farewell is extremely flexible, and I feel like people don't use it effectively because they think it's a creature board wipe, but just board wipe of anything. And we have the ramp spells. I really actually like the white ramp package I have presented here. We'll go over the artifacts real quick. We have Soul Ring, Wayfarer's Bauble, Arcane Signet, the usual. Pearl Medallion because we're playing mono white. Then we go to the white ramp. We have Knight of the White Orchid, which is not a soldier because it's a knight, of course. I wish knights and soldiers were the same, but they're not. So here we are. You do Ketchup Ramp, which is really good. Deep Gnome Terramancer. When they search, you search. Land attacks. Basically always draw land, so you always play a land every turn. The idea is we just want to keep playing one land every turn, and land attacks helps us do that. We do not need to technically ramp or get ahead in lands. Playing one land every turn, slow and steady wins the game. Archaeomancer's Map gets you those lands, helps you accelerate lands on the battlefield, but gets lands into your hand. Now Smothering Tithe, extremely good. No words can describe how good that card is. This deck, is a mono white deck, and having Smothering Tithe add additional power boost is really good. Then we have a Mana Rock Heraldic Banner, which it's one of my favorite 3-mana Mana Rocks because you choose a color, white, of course. Creatures of the chosen color get +1/+0. Now, this is not as synergistic as I would like because remember in the beginning I mentioned Myrel makes artifact tokens, so they don't get buffed. Only white creatures get buffed. But it is a Mana Rock, so some buff to some creatures is better than no buff. So that's why that is there. And it acts as double duty as a Mana Rock too. We have Oketra's Monument. This is also important too because white creature spells you cast, cost 1 less to cast. And then when you cast a creature spell, make a warrior token. This just provides extra bodies on the table. I think it's really good. It doesn't make soldiers, which is a bummer, but it makes dudes. So I think, and it helps you discount your white creature spells. All right, the lands. So these are white lands. We have Windbrisk Heights. It's Hideaway. If you attack with 3 more creatures, you get to cast the Hideaway card for free. Aganjo, Shadowland, Emiria, which is actually very good. And usually played in mono white just exclusively. Beginning your upkeep, you control 7 more planes. You may return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. We're playing tons of planes. Then it adds white. Path of Ancestry lets you scry by playing soldiers. Then you have Lotus Field, which sacks 2 lands, is hexproof, and taps any 3 mana of any color. The reason we have this is we're playing Ketchup Ramp in white, which usually is how it works. Lotus Field is excellent because it makes you sack 2 lands, so you go down in lands, not down in mana, and gives you the ability to burst ahead. Well, not burst ahead. I continue to play Ketchup, quote-unquote, Ketchup Ramp while you have this mana, this land that produces 3 mana. Nykthos makes tons and tons of mana because you are playing a monocolored deck. Nykthos, amazing monocolored decks. Mono white, tap to add 10 mana sometimes. Amazing. Some more utility lands here. We do want to play a lot of planes because we do have our Emeria. We do have a copy lands. Emeria is not legendary for whatever reason, so you can copy it and get multiple things back from the graveyard. You can copy War Room, draw tons of cards. Rogue's Passage. Sometimes, again, I mentioned that you might be able to deal commander damage. Rogue's Passage, you can sneak Myrel in to do a bunch of damage. Myriad Landscape, some good ramp. And then we have the greatest mana base of all time. Tons of basic lands, which come into play untapped, unquestionably untapped most of the time, of course. Anyways, that is the deck so far. I really enjoy, you know, playing creature type decks and monocolor decks. So this is the best of all worlds. So I'm going to shuffle this deck up. We'll do a little quick gold fishing in a bit. But before I do a quick gold fishing, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, smash the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be alerted for new videos in the future. I have the deck list in the description below, along with my TCG player, eBay affiliate links. Help support the channel. Click on those links, buy those cards. Buy the cards to make this deck. Because if you've watched it this far, you really, really want to make this deck. And if you've watched this far, you really, really want to see that gold fishing that we will be right back on. All right, we are back. Turn 1 of our glorious turn. Hopefully we can play a couple soldiers before we play Myrel and get the trigger right away. Let's do it. Bam, bam, bam. 3 lands, Path of Ancestry. Let's scry. Precinct Captain or Validated Veteran. Right there. Siege Veteran. Lots of veterans. Ranger Captain of Eos gets our Esper Sentinel, which is sweet. Okay. This is very keepable. A Ganja might be played as a land, which is fine in this case. That's what it's there for. All right. 4 mana. Path of Ancestry, of course. Get your scry value. It's not really color fixing because we're only playing 1 color, but it's fine. Turn 2. Horn of Valhalla. Don't play the equipment. Do the call first. Equipment's gravy afterwards. Okay. So we play our planes. We have these 2 choices. This thing doesn't buff anybody if it's only one on the table, so you only play these later. So I think Precinct Captain is our choice. It's got first strike and it starts your little soldier army going. So Precinct Captain, we will scry with our soldier. Land, 4 lands is pretty good. I don't think we need another land, right? No, I think we're good for now. All right, turn 3. Right there. Let's see, Welcoming Vampire. Ooh, that's really good. We'll play our another planes here. That's not soldier. So, we want to be on curve. Play Siege Veteran. Right there, beginning of combat in your turn. +1/+1 counter target creature you control. So that is kind of like a Lord effect already, but it's a permanent Lord effect. And it helps us with a curve. We could play our other real Lord, Valiant Veteran, but it's just not really on curve. We will Path of Ancestry. Oop, doesn't go in your hand. Ooh, Knight Captain of Eos. That is the perfect card. We're definitely keeping that card right on top. Okay. Now we do this pre-combat, beginning of combat. We'll put a counter on this guy. So it's 3/3 first strike, which can go through many things on turn, attacking on turn 3, which is great. And if this guy dies, you make a colorless soldier. So we're going to attack here, and then attack the person that you can deal combat damage to, of course. And then when you deal combat damage to a player, put a 1/1 white token into the battlefield. So we make more soldiers. White soldier token. Right. That's the idea. Now I have 3 soldiers. Perfect. And this is a 3/3. It can grow to a 4/4. So you can keep growing, which is great because it has first strike. So, you know, very hard to block. Turn 4. That's our Knight Captain of Eos that we knew we were having. We'll play our Ganjo. Now we have choices. We could play a Welcoming Vampire, get the lands rolling. We could play our commander, get the dudes rolling. Play this eventually. So I think we have tons of cards in our hands here. So what we'll do is, or we play Ranger Captain of Eos and Esper Sentinel to get our card flow going. But, you know, we came here to play our commander. Right there. Myrel. Because the faster we get Myrel out, the faster she can attack. So we'll get her out. And she does have the same creature type as herself. So we'll scry again. Nykthos. Ooh, we definitely keep that right there on top. Okay. And then what we could do is put a counter right there. Oh, wow. Another counter on this guy. Or if you want to pump up Myrel, that'd be good too. So hypothetically, let's just say that no one can, there's a player that can't block this profitably. So we'll put a counter on here. We'll attack the player here. And then we'll make two new dudes here. So we'll put this on power and toughness here so we know. Right there. Make another dude, which is great. We'll pass the turn 5. This is not the fastest deck. You know, it does have a little grind value because we're making tons of creatures. Okay. Boom. We got our Nykthos that we knew was there, which is extremely good here. So we'll save these 2 mana for Nykthos. we will play our Valiant Veteran, pump up our Myrel. Play that here. Now, if we do play Nykthos, right there, we could play Knight Captain of Eos. So we'll just play our Nykthos, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 white pips, which is perfect for Knight Captain of Eos. Right there. When ETBs, 2 white soldier creature tokens. Right there. So let's say I have 4 tokens. 2 are summoning sick, of course. And then I could pay white to sack, which I don't have a white. Now, I wouldn't attack Myrel unless it's safe. Hopefully, what we do is use Siege Veteran to increase Myrel's power at the beginning of combat. Right there. And they get +1/+1 from Valiant Veteran. So, Myrel gets +3/+3. So it's a 6/7. Again, commander damage is a thing. 6/7 is hard to block on turn 5. Somebody probably isn't going to block it. This is blockable, so we won't attack with this yet. But eventually, once we have the white mana, we can take our dudes into the red zone, no problem. So we'll attack Myrel here. We will trigger Myrel. Remember, play all your soldiers pre-combat so you can trigger and maximize the token generation. So, great. X, colorless 1/1 artifact creature tokens. X is the number of soldiers you control, which is great. So let's count up. We have 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. So we just made 9 dudes with Myrel. At this point, we pass the turn. Turn 6, we are 18 soldiered up. Nykthos at the ready. This is really, really good. Too bad these guys don't have a lot of white pips. That would really help Nykthos a lot, but it is what it is. All right, and we forgot to scry off these. Let's pretend we did scry. Martial coup. No, we don't want that. And then we have another scry off this guy too. Dahlia. No, we don't want that. We want a more impactful spell. Okay, now we're back kosher again. Let's pretend we did that. Then we'll draw our card here. Plains. Oh, land's not bad. We'll play our plains. Here, we will play our Welcoming Vampire. Accumulate our Nykthos value. Here, actually, Ranger Captain of Eos gets Nykthos value even better. Right there, Ranger Captain of Eos searches for our friend. Got our friend Esper Sentinel right here. Activate Nykthos. Add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 white mana to our mana pool. We'll play Esper Sentinel. These are not summoning sick any longer. So let's move this up here, somewhere here. We'll play our Esper Sentinel. Now down to 7 mana. We will play our Horn of, or Yozgard's Call for 5 white to make 5 dudes. So we'll make 5 more dudes here. And then we will hold us Welcoming Vampire. That's fine. We'll always make more dudes. Actually, takes these backsies again. Forgot about this guy. Very important guy. We'll make 4 dudes. Use the 1 white to sack a dude, because we can't sacrifice it in combat because our mana will drain. So we'll sack a dude, no problem, to prevent all combat damage that we dealt this turn. I put the non-summoning sick dudes over here. These are white. Kind of, I split the 2 piles apart here. That's why you didn't see I did it off camera because I had to rewind. But now we're back to doing the thing we want to do. All right, what we want to do is, now that we are under the shield of the Knight Captain of Eos, we attack with everything. Boom, boom, boom. Then trigger Precinct or Siege Veteran. Trigger our Myrel. We will get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, plus 9, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Okay. All right, we'll make 23 tokens. I ran out of regular dice, used other dice. Anyways, then you get into the red zone. You have dudes to block. You have some card draw on Esper Sentinel. You can silence somebody by sacrificing Ranger Captain of Eos. You can prevent combat damage. Basically, you're in a very good board position because you have 23 soldiers here, plus the other 23, which means you have 46 soldiers ready to go next turn with the Shield of Knight Captain of Eos. This is how the deck works. If your opponents don't have board wipes or good removal spells for your Myrel, the board just explodes with soldiers. Anyways, if you enjoyed this deck tech so far, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, smash the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be alerted for future videos in the future. I have the deck list in the description below, along with my TCG Player, eBay affiliate links, help support the channel, other cool social stuff. If you want to click on those, communicate with me. Don't forget to give a comment in the comment section of how many tokens you've ever generated with Myrel, because it seems like this can get really out of control. Because imagine next turn, you just don't have any more dice. You just have to use your calculator or something. It's like 100 tokens. Anyways, I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope you have a wonderful day.